Bullies harass a quiet newcomer every day, unaware that the boy they underestimate is hiding a secret powerful enough to turn the tables completely. What would you do if you are humiliated daily by people you can crush with your fist? This is the story of Mario, a boy who moves to a new town and quickly becomes the target of the school's bullies. What they don't know is that they're messing with the wrong person. What starts as just another case of bullying soon turns into shocking reality that no one saw coming. Get ready for a story of revenge, redemption, and a plot twist that will leave you breathless. Before we proceed, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment of where you are watching from. We want to connect with our viewers. Let's begin our story. They say silence speaks louder than words, but at Lincoln Heights Academy, silence was seen as weakness, the kind of weakness that made you pray. Mario Jin's son learned that on his first day. He stepped through the iron gates with a worn backpack slung over one shoulder, his expression unreadable. Not nervous, not excited, just present, like he'd walked into 100 schools before this one and would walk into 100 more. The other students stared. Of course they did. A new black kid in a school that was 90% white, with a jawline too sharp for his 16 years, and eyes that looked like they'd seen things most teenagers couldn't imagine. He wore a simple black hoodie and faded jeans. Nothing flashy, nothing that screamed for attention, but attention found him anyway. Dennis Howard noticed him first. Dennis, with his Letterman jacket and perfectly gelled hair, stood at the center of the main hallway like a king surveying his kingdom. Around him, his crew laughed too loud at jokes that weren't funny, shoved freshmen into lockers, and made sure everyone knew who ran this place. Dennis's father was the mayor, his uncle was the police chief. In Lincoln Heights, the Howard name meant power, and Dennis wielded it like a weapon. When Mario walked past without so much as a glance, Dennis felt something he wasn't used to feeling, being ignored. "Hey!" Dennis called out, his voice cutting through the hallway noise. Mario kept walking. Dennis's jaw tightened. His boys exchanged glances. Nobody ignored Dennis Howard. "Hey, I'm talking to you," Dennis said louder, stepping into Mario's path. Mario stopped. He didn't look up immediately, just stood there, breathing steady, like he was calculating something. Then, slowly, he raised his eyes to meet Dennis's. There was no fear in them, no challenge either, just emptiness, like looking into a well with no bottom. Dennis felt a flicker of something he'd never admit, unease, but he buried it fast. "You deaf or something?" Dennis sneered, leaning in. "When I talk, you answer." Mario's voice came out calm, almost polite. "I didn't know you were talking to me." His English was perfect, but there was the slightest trace of an accent, Korean maybe, that made every word sound deliberate. Dennis laughed, a harsh sound meant to humiliate. "Well, now you know. What's your name, fresh meat?" "Mario." "Mario?" Dennis repeated, mocking the pronunciation. "That's not a real Korean name." Mario didn't flinch. "It's the one I use." Dennis's crew snickered. One of them, a thick-necked football player named Tyler, stepped forward. "You got a problem with how we do things here, Mario?" Mario looked at Tyler, then back at Dennis. "No problem," he said quietly. Dennis grinned, sensing victory. "Good, then you won't mind carrying my bag to class." The hallway went silent. Everyone knew what this was. A test, a declaration. If Mario said yes, he'd be Dennis's servant for the rest of the year. If no, well, things would get ugly fast. Mario glanced at the bag Dennis was holding out, then back at Dennis's face. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then, without a word, he stepped around Dennis and kept walking. The hallway erupted in whispers. Dennis stood frozen, his hand still extended, holding the bag, his face flushed red. Tyler looked at him, waiting for orders.
Dennis's voice came out low, dangerous. "Nobody walks away from me." And just like that, Mario Jin's son had made his first enemy.
By lunchtime, the whole school knew who Mario was. Not because he'd done anything remarkable, but because Dennis made sure everyone understood the new kid was marked. Mario sat alone in the cafeteria, a tray of untouched food in front of him. He didn't look around nervously like most targets would. He just ate in silence, methodical, like fueling a machine. Around him, students whispered and stared. Some looked at him with pity, others with curiosity, a few with fear, though they didn't know why yet. From across the room, Dennis watched. He wasn't used to being defied. In his world, respect was mandatory, and disrespect was punished swiftly. His father had taught him that. Power wasn't given, it was taken and maintained through fear. "You gonna let him get away with that?" Tyler muttered beside him. Dennis didn't answer right away. He was thinking. This wasn't just about a bag or a bruised ego. This was about control. If word got out that some random new kid had embarrassed him and walked away clean, others might get ideas, and that couldn't happen. "We make an example," Dennis said finally, "but not here. Too many teachers. After school, behind the gym." Tyler grinned. "You want us to rough him up?" Dennis shook his head. "Just scare him. Let him know how things work here. If he's smart, he'll fall in line. If not," he didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Meanwhile, in the far corner of the cafeteria, a teacher named Mr. Chen sat alone, eating a sandwich and pretending to grade papers. But his eyes kept drifting to Mario. He recognized something in that kid. The stillness, the way he carried himself, like coiled wire, ready to snap, but choosing not to. Mr. Chen had seen it before, in Seoul, in the underground fight clubs where desperate men bet on violence. He'd left that world behind when he came to America, but he knew the look of someone trained to hurt, trained to survive. And that kid, sitting alone with a face like stone, was definitely trained. Mr. Chen thought about saying something, warning the boy maybe, or warning Dennis, but he didn't, because deep down, a dark part of him wanted to see what would happen when a bully pushed someone who didn't break. When the final bell rang, Mario packed his bag slowly, like he had all the time in the world. Other students rushed past him, eager to leave, but he moved with deliberate calm. He knew what was waiting for him. He'd known since the hallway incident. Bullies were predictable. Outside, the autumn air was crisp, the sky painted in fading orange light. Mario walked toward the back of the school, where the gym loomed like a concrete fortress. Behind it was an empty lot, hidden from the main road, where the school's dumpsters sat rusting and forgotten, perfect for what Dennis had planned. As Mario rounded the corner, he found them waiting. Dennis and 4 of his boys spread out in a loose semicircle, blocking any easy escape. Tyler cracked his knuckles. Another kid, a wiry guy named Jason, spun a length of chain around his wrist. "Thought you'd run," Dennis said, stepping forward. "Most smart kids do." Mario set his backpack down gently, like it held something fragile. "I'm not most kids." Dennis smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "No, you're the idiot who thought he could disrespect me and walk away." Mario didn't respond. He just stood there, hands loose at his sides, breathing steady, watching. "Last chance," Dennis said. "Apologize. Carry my bag tomorrow. Do it right, and we forget this happened." Mario's voice was quiet. "Or," Dennis's smile vanished, "or we teach you what happens to people who don't know their place." For a moment, nothing happened. The world seemed to hold its breath. Then Tyler lunged first, fist swinging wild, aiming for Mario's face. And that's when Dennis and his crew realized
They'd made a terrible mistake.
Mario moved, not frantically, not desperately, smoothly, like water flowing around stone. Tyler's punch cut through empty air as Mario sidestepped, his body shifting with surgical precision. Before Tyler could recover, Mario's hands shot out, palm strike to the solar plexus, and Tyler crumpled, gasping, knees hitting gravel. 3 seconds. That's how long it took. Jason cursed and swung the chain. Mario ducked, stepped inside Jason's guard and drove an elbow into his ribs. The crack echoed across the lot. Jason screamed and went down. 6 seconds. The other two hesitated, eyes wide. Dennis's voice cracked. "Get him!" They rushed together. Bad idea. Mario's legs snapped out, a low kick that swept the first one's legs from under him. As he fell, Mario pivoted, caught the second one's wrist mid-punch, twisted and sent him sprawling into the dumpster with a metallic clang. 12 seconds. And then there was just Dennis, standing alone, breathing hard, staring at 4 of his boys writhing on the ground. Mario straightened, brushing dust from his sleeve. He wasn't even winded. Dennis's hand shook as he balled it into a fist. You're dead, you know that? Your dad's the mayor," Mario interrupted, his voice still calm. "I know. And you think that scares me?" Dennis swallowed. He'd never been on this side of fear before. "You can't just... People will what?" Mario took a step forward. Dennis took a step back. "Tell them the truth? That you jumped me with 4 guys and lost?" Mario's eyes, those dark, bottomless eyes, locked onto Dennis's. "Or maybe you'll lie. Say I attacked you. Call the cops. Try to get me arrested." Dennis's mouth opened, but no words came out. Mario leaned in, close enough that only Dennis could hear. "But here's the thing, Dennis. I don't care what you do. Because the people who raised me, they taught me that fear is a tool. And right now, you're afraid. I can see it." Dennis's legs felt weak. Mario stepped back, picked up his backpack, and slung it over his shoulder. "You wanted to teach me a lesson. Consider it learned." And then he walked away, leaving Dennis standing alone in the fading light, surrounded by groaning bodies, feeling something he'd never felt before. Powerless. By the next morning, the story had spread like wildfire. Not the truth, Dennis made sure of that. His version went like this: Mario had jumped them from behind, used some kind of weapon, fought dirty, classic coward tactics. But the whispers told a different story. Tyler's broken ribs said Mario fought clean. Jason's bruised pride said Mario fought fast. And Dennis's haunted eyes said Mario fought like someone who'd done this before. A lot. In the teacher's lounge, Mr. Chen sipped his coffee and listened to the gossip. Principal Morgan, a balding man who cared more about fundraising than student welfare, was furious. Not at Dennis for starting the fight, but at Mario for winning it. "We can't have this," Morgan said, pacing. "Violence on school grounds. The Howard family is already calling for expulsion." "Did anyone actually see what happened?" asked Miss Rodriguez, the only teacher who seemed to care about facts. Morgan waved her off. "Dennis and his friends gave statements. That's enough." Mr. Chen set his cup down carefully. "And Mario? Did anyone ask for his side?" Morgan's eyes narrowed. "He's a transfer student with no records, no previous school listed, no permanent address except some apartment downtown. He's practically a ghost." "That doesn't make him guilty," Miss Rodriguez pressed. "It makes him suspicious," Morgan snapped. "And until I know more about him, he's on thin ice." Mr. Chen said nothing, but later, during his free period, he pulled Mario's file. It was thin, too thin. Date of birth, visa status, emergency contact listed as Jin Sun. No first name, no relationship specified, just a phone number with a Seoul area code. Strange. Mr. Chen dialed it anyway. The phone rang 3 times before a voice answered. Deep, controlled, speaking in Korean. "Who is this?" Mr. Chen responded in Korean, keeping his tone respectful. "My name is Chen Wei. I'm a teacher at Lincoln Heights Academy.
I'm calling about Mario Jin's son. A pause. Then, what has he done? Nothing wrong, Mr. Chen said quickly, but there was an incident. Other students tried to hurt him. He defended himself. Effectively. Another pause, longer this time. Is he in trouble? The principal wants to expel him. The voice on the other end went cold. That would be unfortunate. Mr. Chen felt a chill run down his spine. There was something in that tone, something dangerous. Who are you? He asked. I am his father. And you are concerned. The line went dead. Mr. Chen stared at the phone, his hand trembling slightly. He'd heard that tone before, in Seoul, in the back rooms of clubs where men in expensive suits made problems disappear with a single word. He hoped he was wrong. Meanwhile, Mario sat in the library, reading a book on philosophy. He'd been called to the principal's office 3 times already, but he'd refused to go without a parent or lawyer present. They couldn't force him, not yet. A shadow fell across his table. He looked up to see a girl standing there. She was petite, with dyed blue hair and a nose ring, wearing a leather jacket covered in band patches. Her name was Riley Park, and she was one of the few Korean students at Lincoln Heights. You're the kid who wrecked Dennis Howard, she said, not asking, just stating. Mario went back to his book. I don't know what you're talking about. Riley sat down uninvited. Relax, I'm not here to rat you out. I just wanted to say, it's about time someone put that asshole in his place. Mario turned a page. If that's all, Dennis's dad is calling in favors, cops, lawyers, the whole deal. They're gonna railroad you. Let them try. You don't get it. Riley leaned forward. The Howards own this town. They'll make you disappear if they think you're a threat. Mario finally looked up, and Riley saw something flicker in his eyes. Amusement, maybe. Let them try, he repeated. Riley frowned. You got a death wish or something? No, just insurance. Before Riley could ask what that meant, Mr. Chen appeared, looking uncharacteristically tense. Mario, we need to talk, now. Mario closed his book and stood. Excuse me, he said to Riley, then followed Mr. Chen to a quiet corner. I called your emergency contact, your father. Mario's expression didn't change, and he sounded powerful, dangerous even. Who is he? Mario was silent for a moment. Then, someone you don't want to meet. Mr. Chen felt that chill again. The Howards are pushing hard. They want you gone. If your father is who I think he is, he won't come, Mario said firmly. Not for this. Then how do you plan to fight them? Mario's lips curved into a slight smile, the first emotion Mr. Chen had seen him show. I already have. That night, in a penthouse suite overlooking Seoul's glittering skyline, Jin's son sat in a leather chair, a glass of whiskey in his hand. He was a man in his 50s, silver-haired, with a face carved from stone and eyes that missed nothing. Beside him stood Lee Jun, his most trusted lieutenant. The boy is in trouble, Lee said. Should we intervene? Jin's son swirled his glass thoughtfully. Mario knew what he was getting into when he chose to live a normal life. He wanted distance from this world. And if they hurt him, they won't. Jin's son's voice was absolute, because if they try, they'll learn that some children are untouchable, not because of what they are, but because of what stands behind them. Lee nodded, understanding. And the Howard family? Jin's son smiled. It was not a kind smile. Let them make their move, then we'll show them what it means to threaten what's mine.
The failed arrest changed everything. Dennis couldn't touch Mario legally, so he did what bullies always do when they lose power. He turned to hate. It started small. Graffiti on Mario's locker, slurs in Korean, misspelled but clear in their intent. The word gook scrawled in permanent marker. Students who'd been neutral before started avoiding him, not out of fear of Mario, but fear of being associated with him.
In the cafeteria, Tyler stood on a table during lunch and shouted loud enough for everyone to hear, "Hey everyone, fun fact, did you know the new kid's probably illegal? No records, no history? Bet he's one of those anchor babies." Laughter rippled through the room. Not everyone, but enough to hurt. Mario sat alone, chewing mechanically, his face a mask. But inside, something dark was stirring. Riley Park found him after school, furious. "You're just gonna let them say that shit?" Mario kept walking. "Words don't hurt me." "Bullshit! Everyone has a breaking point." Mario stopped, turned to face her. "Do you know what it's like to be told you don't belong somewhere every day of your life? That your face, your name, your blood makes you less than human?" Riley faltered. I do," Mario said quietly. "And I learned a long time ago that people like Dennis need someone to hate because it makes them feel powerful. If I react, I give them what they want." "So you just take it?" "For now." Riley didn't understand, but she nodded anyway. "If you change your mind, I know people who can make Dennis's life hell without throwing a punch." Mario almost smiled. "I appreciate that." But the racism didn't stop. It escalated. Dennis's new strategy was to paint Mario as a threat, not just to him, but to the whole school. He started rumors that Mario was in a gang, that he carried weapons, that he was here to recruit other Asian kids into some criminal organization. It was absurd, racist, and effective. Parents started calling the school, demanding Mario be expelled for safety reasons. Principal Morgan, spineless as ever, called another assembly. This time Mario was forced to attend. Morgan stood at the podium, his voice dripping with false concern. "We've had some incidents involving cultural misunderstandings. I want to remind everyone that Lincoln Heights Academy values diversity and inclusion." Mario sat in the back row, arms crossed, watching. Morgan continued, "However, we also value safety, and when a student's presence creates fear, warranted or not, we have to take that seriously." A teacher in the front row whispered to another, "Is he really about to blame the victim?" Morgan cleared his throat. "To that end, we'll be implementing new security measures. All students will be subject to random locker searches, bag checks, increased police presence." Everyone knew who this was really about. Riley leaned over to Mario. "This is bullshit." Mario said nothing. After the assembly, Dennis cornered him in the hallway, flanked by Tyler and Jason. But this time, they didn't try to fight. Dennis just smiled. "Enjoying your last days here, Mario? My dad's got the school board in his pocket. You'll be gone by the end of the month." Mario met his gaze, and Dennis saw something that made his smile falter. Not fear, not anger, pity. "You think I'm the one who should be worried?" Mario said softly. Dennis laughed, but it sounded forced. "What's that supposed to mean?" Mario leaned in, close enough that only Dennis could hear. "You ever wonder why your dad couldn't find anything on me? No records, no past, nothing?" Dennis's jaw clenched. So, that takes power. Real power. The kind your father doesn't have." Dennis's jaw clenched. "You're threatening me?" "No, I'm warning you." Mario stepped back, "because the people protecting me are not teachers or lawyers or cops. They're the kind of people who make problems disappear permanently." Dennis's face went pale. "You're bluffing." "Maybe." Mario turned and walked away. "But are you willing to bet your life on that?"
Jin's son arrived in Lincoln Heights on a Tuesday. He didn't announce himself, didn't call ahead. He simply appeared, stepping out of a black Mercedes S-Class that purred to a stop in front of the school like a predator stalking prey. He wore a tailored charcoal suit, crisp white shirt, no tie. His silver hair was slicked back, and his eyes, those dark, unreadable eyes that Mario had inherited, scanned the building with the precision of a man assessing a battlefield.
Lee Jun, his lieutenant, emerged from the driver's seat, also suited, his hand resting near his waist in a way that suggested a weapon was close. "This is the place?" Jin-sun asked in Korean. "Yes, sir." Jin-sun nodded slowly. "Let's see what kind of people threaten my son." They walked through the front doors and the effect was immediate. Conversation stopped, students stared. There was something about Jin-sun that commanded attention, not through loudness or aggression, but through presence, the kind of presence that made you instinctively step aside. Principal Morgan was in his office when his secretary buzzed him, her voice shaking. "Sir, there's a gentleman here to see you. He says he's Mario Jin-sun's father." Morgan straightened his tie, assuming this would be a routine meeting. He'd dealt with angry parents before. He opened the door and froze. Jin-sun stood in the waiting area, hands clasped behind his back, studying a framed photo of the school's founding members. He didn't turn when Morgan entered. He simply spoke, his English flawless but accented. "Principal Morgan, I presume?" "Yes, and you are?" "Jin-sun, Mario's guardian." He turned, and Morgan felt his mouth go dry. This wasn't an angry parent. This was something else entirely. "Please come in," Morgan stammered. Jin-sun followed him into the office, Lee Jun taking position outside the door, arms crossed, expression blank. Morgan sat behind his desk, trying to regain control. "Mr. Jin-sun, I'm glad you're here. We've had some concerns about Mario's behavior." "Stop." Jin-sun's voice was quiet but absolute. Morgan's mouth snapped shut. Jin-sun sat down, crossing one leg over the other with elegant precision. "You will listen. I will speak. Understood?" Morgan nodded weakly. "My son came to this country to escape a life I built for him, a life of violence and power. He wanted normalcy, peace. I gave him that." Jin-sun's eyes locked onto Morgan's. "And you allowed him to be attacked, bullied, racially harassed. You, the man responsible for his safety, did nothing." There were procedures." "Procedures?" Jin-sun's lip curled in disdain. "4 boys ambushed my son. He defended himself, and you attempted to have him arrested." "That was a misunderstanding." "No." Jin-sun leaned forward. "That was cowardice. You bowed to the mayor's family because they have money, power, but you don't understand what real power looks like." He paused, letting the words sink in. "So let me educate you." Jin-sun reached into his jacket. Morgan flinched, but all Jin-sun pulled out was a phone. He placed it on the desk and pressed play. A video began. It showed Mayor Howard in a private room accepting an envelope from a man in a suit. The conversation was in Korean, but the subtitles were clear. The mayor was taking bribes from a foreign contractor to approve construction projects. Morgan's face went white. "How did you—" "I have resources," Jin-sun said simply. "Resources that make your mayor look like a child playing at power." He swiped to another video. This one showed Chief Wallace in a bar, drunkenly bragging about covering up evidence in a hit-and-run case. "One call," Jin-sun said, "and both of those men are ruined, careers destroyed, families humiliated, possibly imprisoned." Morgan's hands trembled. "What do you want?" "I want my son left alone. I want the harassment to stop. I want Dennis Howard and his friends expelled for assault." "I can't just—" "You can, and you will." Jin-sun stood. "Because if you don't, I will release these videos. I will contact every journalist, every federal investigator, every person who would love to see this corrupt little town burn. And when I'm done, there won't be a Howard legacy left to protect."
Principal Morgan didn't sleep that night. He sat in his living room, staring at Jin-sun's phone. No, his phone now, he realized with a sinking feeling, playing the videos over and over. Each time he saw his career, his reputation, his entire life hanging by a thread. By dawn, he'd made his decision. Survival came first. At 8 a.m., he called an emergency school board meeting.
By 9 a.m., Dennis Howard, Tyler, Jason, and the 2 other boys who'd ambushed Mario were summoned to his office. Dennis walked in with his usual swagger, expecting another slap on the wrist. Instead, he found Morgan standing behind his desk, flanked by 2 board members, his face pale and grim. "Dennis Howard," Morgan said, his voice hollow, "you and your associates are hereby expelled from Lincoln Heights Academy, effective immediately." The room went silent. Dennis blinked. "What?" "Security footage and witness testimony confirmed that you instigated an assault on Mario Jin-soon. This is a violation of the Student Code of Conduct, and we have zero tolerance for—" "Bullshit!" Dennis shouted, slamming his hands on the desk. "There's no footage. You're making this up." Morgan didn't flinch. "The decision is final. You have 1 hour to collect your belongings and leave the premises. Security will escort you." Tyler stepped forward. "My dad's a lawyer. You can't do this." "Your father was already informed," one of the board members said coldly. "He's aware of the consequences." Dennis's face turned red. "This is because of him, isn't it? That Korean kid. What'd he do, threaten you?" Morgan said nothing, but the silence was answer enough. Dennis laughed bitterly. "You're all cowards. My dad's gonna destroy you for this." "Your father," Morgan said quietly, "has bigger problems right now." Dennis wanted to ask what that meant, but the look in Morgan's eyes stopped him. It was the look of a man who'd seen the abyss and barely escaped. Security arrived, 2 large men who escorted Dennis and his crew out of the building. Students lined the hallways, watching in stunned silence as the school's most feared bullies were walked out in disgrace. Dennis locked eyes with Mario as he passed. Mario stood by his locker, calm, expressionless. Dennis wanted to say something, anything, but the words died in his throat, because in that moment he realized the truth. He'd never had power. He'd just been borrowing it from his father, and now even that was gone. After they left, the school erupted in whispers. Some students cheered, others were confused, a few were scared. But one thing was clear: Mario Jin-soon was no longer someone you messed with. At lunchtime, Riley found Mario sitting alone again, but this time people weren't avoiding him. They were stealing glances, curious, wary, almost on respect. "You did it," Riley said, sitting down across from him. "They're gone." Mario shrugged. "I didn't do anything." "Bullshit. Morgan was ready to throw you under the bus. Something changed." Mario didn't answer, because he knew what had changed. He'd seen the black Mercedes outside the school that morning, seen his father's silhouette in the back seat before it drove away. He hadn't said anything, didn't need to. Meanwhile, across town, Mayor Howard sat in his office, staring at an envelope that had been hand-delivered to his home that morning. Inside were printed copies of the videos Jin-soon had shown Morgan, along with a single typed note. "Your son is safe, for now, but if you come after mine again, these go public. Choose wisely." The mayor's hands shook as he fed the papers into a shredder. His entire career, his legacy, everything he'd built, gone if he made one wrong move. He picked up his phone and called Chief Wallace. "We need to talk about the Jin-soon situation." Wallace's voice was tense. "I already heard. Someone's been asking questions about that name. Federal level. We need to back off." "Back off?" The mayor's voice cracked. "They humiliated my son." "Your son attacked someone connected to the Korean Mafia, you idiot," Wallace hissed. "I don't know who Jin-soon is, but people in Seoul are scared of him, and if you keep pushing, we're both going to end up dead." The line went silent. Then quietly, "What do we do?" "Nothing. We do nothing. We pretend this never happened, and we pray they leave us alone." A week after the expulsions, Mr. Chen found Mario in the library again. The student was bent over a calculus textbook, solving equations with the same calm precision he applied to everything else. "Can we talk?" Mr. Chen asked. Mario looked up, nodded.
They moved to a corner where no one could overhear. Mr. Chen sat down heavily, like a man carrying a great weight. "I need to apologize to you." Mario frowned. "For what?" "For not stopping it sooner." Mr. Chen's voice was thick with regret. "I saw what Dennis and his crew were doing, the racism, the harassment, and I said nothing. You wrote a statement, you helped me." "Only when it was almost too late." Mr. Chen looked down at his hands. "I told myself I was staying neutral, that it wasn't my place to interfere, but the truth is, I was a coward." Mario studied him. "You're not the first teacher to look the other way. That doesn't make it right." Mr. Chen met his eyes. "I came to this country to escape violence. In Seoul, I worked in places where men like your father, like Jin's son, held power. I saw what that world did to people, and I swore I'd never be part of it again." He paused. "But silence is being part of it. I see that now." Mario was quiet for a moment. Then, "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you deserve to know that you had someone on your side, even if I was too afraid to show it." Mr. Chen's voice cracked. "And because I don't want you to think that all adults are cowards who care more about their jobs than doing what's right." Mario's expression softened just slightly. "You're not a coward, Mr. Chen. You spoke up when it mattered." "Only because you forced me to." Mr. Chen smiled sadly. "You're stronger than I ever was." "Strength isn't the same as courage," Mario said. "My father taught me that. Strength is easy when you have power. Courage is speaking up when you don't." Mr. Chen looked at him with something like wonder. "You're wise beyond your years." "I had to be." They sat in silence for a moment. Then Mr. Chen asked, "What will you do now? The school's different. Dennis is gone. People respect you. Some are even afraid of you." Mario's jaw tightened. "I don't want fear. I never did." "Then what do you want?" "To be left alone." But even as he said it, he knew it wasn't true, because being left alone meant being invisible, and after everything that had happened, invisibility was no longer an option. Later that evening, Riley found Mario at the bus stop. She'd been avoiding him for a few days, unsure of how to approach him after everything, but tonight she couldn't stay away. "Hey," she said, sitting down beside him. "Hey, you okay? You've been quieter than usual." Mario almost laughed. "I'm always quiet." "Yeah, but this is different, like you're carrying something heavy." She paused. "Is it your dad?" Mario tensed. "What about him?" "I did some digging, not much, just enough to know that Jin's son isn't exactly a normal businessman." Mario turned to look at her, his eyes hard. "You shouldn't have done that." "I know, but I needed to understand who you are, why you fight like that, why you're so calm all the time." "And what did you find?" "Nothing concrete, just whispers, stories about a man in Seoul who runs things behind the scenes, legitimate businesses on the surface, but underneath..." She trailed off. "Underneath, he's a monster," Mario said flatly. Blink, blink. "Is he?" "He's my father." Mario's voice was quiet. "And he loves me, in his own way. But the world he lives in, it's built on violence, fear, control. I didn't want that life, so I came here to be someone else." "But you can't escape who you are," Riley said softly. "No." Mario looked away. "I thought I could, but maybe I was wrong." Riley reached out and took his hand. Mario froze, surprised. "You're not your father," she said firmly. "You're Mario, the kid who reads philosophy books, who helps freshmen with their homework, who didn't fight back until he had no choice." She squeezed his hand. "That's who you are, not some mafia heir. Just you."
2 months later, Lincoln Heights Academy had changed. Dennis Howard was gone, enrolled in a private military academy 3 states away, his father's reputation hanging by a thread. Tyler and Jason had transferred to different schools, and the culture of fear they'd built had crumbled. But the biggest change was Mario. He wasn't invisible anymore. Students greeted him in the hallways, some with respect, others with caution. A few even tried to befriend him, though he kept most at arm's length. Riley was the exception. She'd become something like a friend, maybe more, though neither of them had dared to name it. They ate lunch together, studied in the library, talked about music, philosophy, and what it meant to belong somewhere. One Friday afternoon, as they walked out of school together, a black Mercedes pulled up to the curb. Mario stopped mid-step. The driver's window rolled down, revealing Lee Jun. "Your father wants to see you," he said in Korean. Mario's jaw tightened. Riley looked between them, sensing the tension. "Is everything okay?" "I'll be fine," Mario said, forcing his voice to stay calm. "I'll text you later." He got into the car. Riley watched it drive away, a knot forming in her stomach. Inside the car, Lee Jun didn't speak. He just drove, winding through the town until they reached a high-end hotel on the outskirts. They took the elevator to the penthouse suite. Jin-sun was waiting, standing by the window, hands clasped behind his back, looking out over the town like a king surveying his domain. "Father," Mario said in Korean. Jin-sun turned, and for a moment there was warmth in his eyes. "Mario, you look well." "I'm fine." "Are you?" Jin-sun gestured to a chair. "Sit." Mario sat. Jin-sun poured 2 glasses of whiskey, handed one to Mario. The boy took it but didn't drink. "You've made a name for yourself here," Jin-sun said. "People talk about the quiet Korean kid who took down the mayor's son. Some fear you, some respect you. A few even admire you." "I didn't ask for that." "No, but you earned it." Jin-sun sipped his drink. "That takes strength. Or violence. Sometimes they're the same thing." Jin-sun sat down across from him. "I came here to ask you a question." Mario waited. "Do you still want this life? The normal one? High school, college, a 9-to-5 job, pretending you're not who you really are?" Mario's hands tightened around the glass. "I don't know." "Yes, you do." Jin-sun leaned forward. "You've tasted what it's like to have power, to make people back down with a look, to know that no one can touch you because of who stands behind you. Tell me you don't feel it." Mario looked away, because his father was right. He did feel it, the rush of winning, the respect in people's eyes, the knowledge that he was no longer prey. "But that's your world," Mario said quietly, "not mine." "It's your blood," Jin-sun countered. "You can deny it all you want, but the moment those boys attacked you, you became part of it, because you didn't run, you didn't hide, you fought, and you won." He paused. "That's something you can't unlearn." Mario met his father's gaze. "So what are you saying? That I should give up, come back to Seoul and be my heir?" "I'm saying you have a choice." Jin-sun's voice softened. "You can stay here, finish school, go to college, build a life that looks normal on the surface, but know that my world will always be one phone call away, always watching, always protecting, always waiting. Or you accept who you are, you embrace it, you learn from me, and when the time comes, you take my place." Jin-sun set his glass down. "But I won't force you. I never have." Mario was silent for a long time. Outside, the sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and red. "I want to stay. I want to finish school, be normal as much as I can." Jin-sun nodded slowly. "Then you will. But understand this, Mario. Normal is a mask you wear. Underneath, you are my son, and that will never change." He stood, walked to the window again. "One day something will happen, something that forces you to choose between the life you want and the life you were born into. And when that day comes, you'll know which one is real." Mario stood, set the glass down, untouched. "I hope you're wrong." Jin-sun smiled, sad and knowing. "I hope so too."